Smoke something, bitch.
What it do, what it do, what it do. It is your boy, Andrew. So, it is the Getting Two Shoes. And who am I with, as always? Joseph Huggins, a.k.a. Old Man Huggie. Talk shit or get off the bar. Episode 118. It's a Christmas special brought to you by Christ Coin, motherfuckers. Yo, dude, I put that on Bethlehem. I put that shit on Bethlehem.
On Bethlehem? Bro. On Nazarene.
Out of the three men, I'm the wisest, homie.
Shit, dog. On Nazarene. No manger, dog. No manger, bro. Straight up.
Ain't no manger on this.
On three wise men, dog.
Yeah.
Dude, you could do.
I put it on frankincense and myrrh.
Yeah. Come at you, dog. I'm holding a couple packs of myrrh. You know what I'm saying? We about to hit the block.
Homie. No mistletoe.
Me and the three wise men got to go splin the block. Gotta go see our boy JC. You know, it's his birthday. About to get lit, dog. Apparently they rented out some horse barn, dog, some paddock shit. It's wild, dude. Rick Ross
crazy
style.
For this one, God. You know, he came down here. Now he's a human.
That's amazing.
He saw all the bitches we were fucking Magdalene.
That's actually awesome. You crazy for this one, God? That's like I could just.
Oh
hear.
No, he didn't.
I could just
hear.
The only
thing it was the only thing left for him to do. He's like, I've done everything besides see Jesus Christ, anyways. So he just became him.
I can just hear Jay-Z saying that. You crazy for this one, God?
Ho,
ho, yo, got my girl with me. I do love
cheer.
I do love the videos of
your boy
Jay-Z whenever it's any old video of someone playing a beat for him, and he's like, I don't know, there was one where it was like Dirt Off Your Shoulder or something. He's sitting there, Timbaland's playing it, and he's just in the back corner like
the best scene of all time. Yeah, they're in the studio. Timbaland's just going through beats that he's like that he's created.
Yeah.
He barely puts on Dirt Off Your Shoulder. He just skips through it. And he goes to another song, and then Jay-Z's like, no, go back to that last one. And
then here's that bam, 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 and he's like, nah, and he's like, no, wait, go back,
over, bro.
Go back. But he played some other beats. Oh man, that's such a good.
But it's just like all of a sudden he's like not a human anymore. He just hears that beat, and it's just like boom, he's in the zone. He becomes like a superhero. It's like an X-Man.
See, and for me, Timbaland #1 producer for me probably, and like beat maker, like all of his.
What about Manny Fresh?
Manny Fresh is up there too. So for me,
beats.
Yeah, but for beats, I mean, dude, Justin Timberlake's first 2 albums, Timbaland. First 3 albums for Ludacris, Timbaland. Jay-Z, Timbaland.
Like, didn't they both come out? No, not Manny Fresh. Manny Fresh is out of New Orleans, but Justin Timberlake and Timbaland, isn't it like Virginia, like the DC, Virginia area?
Yeah, and then all of Aaliyah's
the
catalog.
DMV.
All of Aaliyah's catalog, all of Missy Elliott's catalogs, unless it's Jazzy Fizzle. Everything else is like Timbaland. What happened to Jazzy Fizzle, by the way? But talk about just him and Sean Paul. They got it figured out. They made some beats, and they just like
that Fizzle turned into Fetty, and
it'd have to be Timbaland. Manny Fresh is up there, and then
Dre.
No, but for me personally,
I think Dre created the best album of all time. I'm not saying best rap album of all time. I'm saying the best album that has ever created was Dr. Dre, Chronic 2001.
All right. You can make a case that
Flawless.
based off of catalog and totality of music, Timbaland's probably got him beat in number of. Hold on, not in sale, not in like
you want
best
me to
out.
introduce 50 Cent? Do you want me to introduce Snoop Dogg, Eminem? I mean, come on, man.
I know, but what I'm talking about is across the spectrum of music, not just rapper specific or people. Timbaland was doing beats for everybody, and the longevity and length of his catalog, there's not a gap. There's not like some big massive gap where he disappears. Dre's up there, so Dre would be like, I'm saying top 5 for me, top 5 in no specific.
Okay, real quick. When I was like 14, maybe just 15, smoking weed for the first time out in California with my cousin who was older, I remember, I don't know why I remember this, but he was like, dude, can you believe this shit? And he was like really upset. He goes, Jermaine Dupri said that he was the best producer of all time, as if Dr. Dre wasn't alive, and like my cousin was like so deeply offended. And I just remember like, oh man, like so I always like I don't know, kept that in the back of my head that like he had that much respect for Dre. But then his friend was saying like Dre doesn't even do it anymore. He's got like a whole army of like engineers.
Well, yeah, well, I mean,
and I'm like, well, shut the fuck.
But
up.
like on like yeah, so for me, top 5, top 6, be like in no specific order, but like Timbaland for sure, Manny Fresh, Dr. Dre. For me, Metro Boomin, everything Metro Boomin it makes is so good. He's man and.
Mike Will Made.
And then Mike Will Made would be number 5, man. Mike Will Made it. Like right now for me and like producers of music.
What about Betty Blanco?
Like I just there's some of the songs like
yeah.
and the how you're like, oh, he did like We Can't Stop by Miley Cyrus. You're like, that's wild that he did that song. And then you think about all like the 3 6 Mafia songs he's made, or Gucci Man songs, or Jeezy songs. It's just like
Mike Will?
Yeah, Mike Will. I mean, Mike Will was it before Metro Boomin kind of showed up, because he does all these other like future songs, and his shit's so out there, and his albums he makes whole just beat albums and it has like 2-minute snippet songs. You're like, man, I wish that was 2 hours.
Also known as instrumentals.
Yeah, well, he'll release a dual album where there'll be the rap song and then it'll just be the instrumentals, and it's just like some of my favorite 21 Savage songs are Metro Boomin songs.
21.
I love menacing murderer rap for some reason.
Yeah, me too.
And then he got positive
like,
and was just like,
a
lot.
Yeah.
How much money you got? A lot. How many haters you got? A lot. It was just a good song. But then I love some of his other stuff, like All the Smoke and like the stuff when he first came out. And I was like, who the fuck is this motherfucker with a sword?
You know we're kind of
slipping
on. You know we're kind of slipping on.
Who?
Master P.
Well, yeah. I mean, now Master P is like the Jerry Jones of rap music.
I've been listening to Master P like like recently. Like
I was playing that the other day.
I mean, like that one song to me, it's always it's got to be like if I when I become a prize fighter and I beat the shit out of Joey Bag of Donuts Rogan in a cage fight on pay-per-view, if you would ever man the fuck up,
answer the call.
No, I'm not calling him.
No, it's just
you can call my lawyer.
It's just a figure of speech, like respond.
Yeah. And it's, his destiny is to get knocked the fuck out in front of America by Mr. Goody Two Shoes. Anyways, what was I saying about that?
Your walkout song by Master P.
My walkout song is Master P was like, if you want me, come get me. How the fuck you gonna take me? I got my tool with me, and we riders.
Yeah, no.
I mean, like I could just murder like three babies in like Gaza with that shit.
He's got some of the best worst rap songs ever. I was listening to Pass Me the Green. I need some weed with my Hennessy. Pass me the green. And that's like, and he's like,
what about like you guys like bitches and blunts? We like weed and money.
Oh, well,
like,
no, but he has songs.
You couldn't get 4 different things.
In that song, in the first verse, he's like, feeling kind of high. You know, I got the munchies. Real weed smokers don't get high on empty stomachs. You heard me. Pass me the green. And there's a chopping beats up like motherfucking spaghetti. That's like in the same song. I'm just like, oh, that's incredibly.
Because when I think of like foods that you chop, I think of spaghetti. You know who I bet chops their spaghetti? Donald Trump. Like, you know, he eats a steak like well done with ketchup.
Yeah, and
He
then
probably, yeah,
there's
he probably
chopped spaghetti on the
cuts
side.
it up. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Where's my applesauce?
Or has somebody do it in front of him.
Has anyone seen my applesauce? I'm looking for it. I have my chopped spaghetti. Everyone knows I love it. It's on a separate plate. They can't touch. When they touch, it's a bad deal. It's a bad plate for everybody. No one likes when plates touch.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
applesauce.
Yeah, dude. I bet he's totally slams on the applesauce, and it's gotta have a little cinnamon sugar, a little bit on the top.
Because
not too much.
He can't eat solid food.
Too
at
much.
this point.
Too
He's
much
just,
of
like,
it hurts
too
my
much
tummy.
of a psychopath.
Yeah, hurts my tummy. I don't know if you saw where Joey Bag of Donuts quoted Biden saying like, "Oh, Revolutionary War taking the airports," and he was making fun of Trump, but he said like, Joe Biden thinks there was airports during the Revolutionary War. It was on his Joe Rogan podcast, Joey Bag of Donuts.
What the fuck is? Oh, okay, like Trump literally was at a rally like 3 weeks ago. He goes and he's just like on this like weird like I don't know what kind of medication he was on. I think he was on the ketamine that Matthew Perry took. Like he was like, and there's gonna be like World War II, and after we beat Obama, I mean by Obama. It's like, what are you like?
Oh wait,
come on.
Another great song from Hootie Who, by True. It's off the True album, so it's TRU. Master P has a line. It's one of my favorites of all time. You're the captain, I'm the crunch. You got dinner, I got lunch. Hit the weed, pass the blunt. Your eyes red, you've got the munch. How you like me now, gold teeth when I smile. Try to take me out the ghetto, but I'm still buck wild. So, but like I'm the captain.
He missed like a, you know.
I'm the captain.
I'm there with that rhyme scheme.
I'm the captain. You the crunch. You got dinner. I got lunch. Hit the weed. Pass the blunt. Your eyes red. You got the munch. Like it's so good. I had the I'm the Last Dawn Master P album, the holographic one, the 2 CD in like what 5th or 6th grade, and I got that shit snatched up at school. Some teacher saw it and was like, "What's that?" And I
teacher took it from you?
Instantly took it. Well, it had a huge holographic parental advisory sticker on it.
They're probably like
this is Durham, dude. This is Durham.
Starving for like good music, and they're like, they, you know, the black guy's probably, you know, he's probably hip. He probably knows, so they just stole your shit. Said it was like a rule.
Like, what's cool, Joseph? What are y'all? Yeah. What are they playing on?
Little did they know that we were just like, you know, like how they like say like video games make you violent and stuff. Like the shit we were listening to, like Brother Lynch Hung and like 3-6 and like, you know, it's like, dude, like you would think that we were gonna go out and like just, you know, murder like grandmas like for no reason.
Yeah.
Like based upon all like just constantly listening to that kind of music, but it like had no effect on us like that way, you know.
Yeah.
It was just good music.
Yeah, I mean, some of it was very forward thinking. Like when I was getting in trouble for listening to like 3-6 Mafia in like 6th, 7th grade, and then those guys won an Oscar down the road.
That's right. Whoop that trick.
Yeah, and everyone was like, and then later on, everyone's like, and your teacher's like, till I die, So it was like, get the fuck out of here, man. And then they're doing songs with Katy Perry about like extraterrestrial.
She's a beast. Call the comma. that whole song's about I went on a real, and like I think Joey Rogan was involved in this. This is like back in the day, but I went on a crazy. So I usually don't go down these like rabbit holes on YouTube, like I think you probably do. But I mean, just I'm guessing, knowing all the conspiracy theory.
Yeah, I love that sort of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it has to be obtained through going down a rabbit hole.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
One of the ones that I went down was sparked by Katy Perry. And 3-6, Dark Horse, and somebody said that that was like all about the Illuminati.
Oh, and then the Super Bowl halftime performance with the
this was before the Super Bowl.
That just to set it off, because then it's like there's a checkered board floor and she's on.
And yeah, and there's like apparently like like there's like you might know about this, the Bronco at the airport in Denver. The Denver airport, like underground, it's like supposed to be like where the Illuminati chill, and like it's like.
Well, no. So there's. That's.
Okay, well, we don't have to get into that.
Well, we will, but you can finish your thought, and then I'll clarify about the statue, because I've heard talk about this lately. But yes.
Well, no, like I just that's all I was gonna say is that song that he did with Katy Perry. Like I like all of a sudden, like 3 hours later, I'm like reading about like weird shit, you know, that like, has nothing to do with that.
The conspiracy that JonBenet Ramsey is
shout out.
Katy Perry, that they're like the same person.
What?
If you've never seen that, that's a
Does the
wild.
ages- do the
That's a
ages even
wild.
add up?
That's a wild.
Is
So
Katy Perry older or younger than us?
I think she's older than us, or younger, about the same. Yeah, I think she's younger.
It's like Benet Ramsey. I thought was. I guess she might be younger.
Yeah,
huh?
she was
She's
younger.
Like,
she was younger than
'cause
us.
I was old enough to remember it, and she was like a baby.
Bruh, so there's a whole conspiracy theory that they're the same person. Super interesting.
Hey, for the audience, there was like this like tabloid shit where JonBenet Ramsey, who was like this rich bitch, like 2-year-old, got murdered, and
That's actually
they thought it.
well, I mean, it's actually extremely sad.
Yeah, well, it is, but it got so. It was like one of the first like exploited like, like salacious.
Oh yeah,
Everybody in the country like following it. It was like right around the OJ time, right?
that's when Nancy Grace was like, "I'm gonna get
Grace was born.
get a haircut and like get in,
Chop that bitch. Chop that hair. Hard chop.
get in,
I need
and,
angles on there.
and get into broadcasting true crime because this is like too good." But no, there's a whole theory about that. Then the other one is actually, so the Denver airport was actually built on like Indian tribal lands, and they had to get it blessed and cleansed by Native Americans before they even broke down. That's actually a real thing. There are a massive tunnel system of like highways and stuff that exist. You don't really know what it is, and when you're in the airport, it doesn't even feel like it. Tons of weird pictures and murals in there. And when it comes to Lucifer, because that's the name of the horse. Right. The statue, it has glowing red eyes. It's this big blue horse statue. You can't miss it.
And that's in the music video of Dark Horse.
But the guy who built it actually was killed by it while he was building it. So the artist who created and built that horse, it fell and crushed him and killed him in the process of building it.
That's like the guy who did the Segway, man. He took his Segway and he fell off a cliff and died. He got the bag though.
And there's all sorts of Freemason stuff. There's weird art that you can go find that's like up in places. Like it's definitely got weird symbols and weird shit. I mean, I used to fly out of that airport all the time.
Yeah, you know what? Once I realized it, I got so mad at myself for not realizing it way sooner. And it was like, people, because I think it was like during this like rabbit hole thing where it's like, dude, look at like all this like, she's wearing like this like Illuminati symbolism. And like that means that she's trying to, and I'm like, wait a second, these celebrities are purposefully wearing Illuminati shit to create the buzz.
Oh
it's not like that they're like, hey, I'm Illuminati and I'm just like trying to give you hints here or there, like I'm fucking QAnon like or whatever. Like it's like no, they're like, oh, people like are really interested in Illuminati. I'm like rich. I'm gonna make them think.
Well, yeah, they're always like, oh.
Yeah, dude.
Kodak Black out wearing Drake t-shirt with Illuminati all-seeing eye. Did they finally get Kodak? And you're like, click here, and it's like this is not an ad. I'm like, that's totally like spamware. But there's
Donald Trump Jr. blowing lines with a dollar bill that has the eyeball over the pyramid. Illuminati.
Well, that's a little bit more believable. But
I'm just saying,
but the Denver airport is weird. Denver in that area is if there was like if there was an intercontinental like ballistic missile, you'd be out of like the range where it wouldn't like hit. Like you're so far inside. That's why there's a lot of like missile bases and shit in Colorado.
Yeah, apparently we have a giant one in Montana, and that's where the Chinese spy balloon. God damn it, Biden. That's where it was getting close to, and that's when we,
the China virus blimp. No, yeah, get out of here.
They probably put
stupid, dude. Dude, that was a wild time to be alive when there was just
that was like insanity.
I was like, yeah, that was just for a while. It was just balloons.
Like everybody lost their mind.
Everybody forgot that there was just like random balloons just like falling from the fucking sky constantly.
Like it seemed like we couldn't get away from it, and then like people died like in that submersible, and I think we were just good to go.
Oh yeah, that totally.
It was like that whole like little weird like month.
Rich white guy with USB controller vaporizes.
We got weird balloons in the sky. We got weird like submersibles like down at the bottom of the ocean in the Titanic. It's like, dude, everything's all fucked up.
Man, what's up?
So, I know how you like the gambling stories.
Oh yeah.
Right. So your boy, I've been like the Karate Kid. I've been like Jean-Claude Van Damme in Bloodsport, just training, getting my mind right. With the poker. So I played 2 online tournaments, 444 people and like 270 something people, and I got top 15 in both. So to the final the last 2 tables, because there's 8 people in each table on this game.
Yeah.
Um, and so it would have been nice to get into the final table, obviously, but back to back on that. And so I hit up the Iron Ape, my my financier. We actually, we have a fund. We call it Good Ape Capital. It's like Mr. Goody, Iron Ape combined, Good Ape Capital. I actually asked ChatGPT for 15 suggestions combining those 2 names, and they didn't give me that one, but I used like parts of it. Anyways, he funds me for poker. I hit him up. I say, hey, you want to go 50-50? You throw $50, I'll throw $50. We split the profits, and he's back. Don't call it a comeback. Let's call it a come up. I'm going back into the players. It's been about a month. Psh, your boy gets there. Buy in. Take a photo evidence of it. 6:40 p.m. 7:20 p.m. I'm taking photo evidence of the $100. Magically turned into 233. Then I'm like, hey, dude, you want to take the quick double up? I was thinking about leaving at 8:30, right? It's like 7:20 at that point, because I want to get to the dispensary before 9 o'clock. And then before I could even leave to get to the dispensary, shit was $273. Boom. Nice little comeback for the casino. Remember, because I was like, I had not cashed for like 2 weeks, just grinding.
Yeah.
This was the make or break. I was gonna see if all that time off and reevaluation paid off.
That Matt Damon poker training.
Yep.
I got to figure out these cards. I know I can do it, Julie. I know I can figure out these cards. I mean, I'm Jason Bourne.
It was so amazing because, like, because I saw so many hands, like, when you're doing online, and, like, it put things more into perspective, because I was, like, just dealing with the cards. Like, you're not really dealing with anybody, the people. So, like, then you could start, like, then I definitely adjusted the way I play. I'm like, like, maybe I should be like, I'll give out a secret right now. It's like, when I'm going into, like, a flop comes out. All right, how about this? The guy that you're in the hand with, they bet pre-flop. You have a decent hand, but you don't have, like, ace or anything. And you call, you go in, flop comes, it's an ace, 7, and you have a pair of 7s. And then that guy who bet pre-flop is going to bet again, a continuation bet, representing they have the ace, even, like, if they had, like, king, queen, probably. Even though you only have a pair of 7s, and he might have an ace, you just call, or you just call that bet, and then on the turn, that's when you raise it, because they don't have the ace, but they're trying to act like they do. Now when you call, they think you have the ace, then you flip it on them, boom. But, like, too often I was, flop comes out, there's an ace on it, I don't have an ace, this guy bets, I'm out. And it's just like, if you're willing to withstand that little bit of pain,
yeah, you have to
putting a bet in and just getting to the next card, and then they get nervous, and then maybe a little check here, or they bet, you raise them.
Yeah, like, I mean, it's a little bit different, but that's how it kind of is with dice. I lose most of my money when I roll dice, betting the board for other people, never really betting on myself, because whenever there has to be some sort of, like, betting, you have to always say, like, it's called gambling. So if I'm gonna, like, I'm not sure if it's like I have 2 pair, but it looks like I also have, like, a flush draw or something like that on the board, and then somebody might have something, I'm gonna, like, well, I'm gonna fucking call you because I'm here to fucking gamble. Like, I don't know, maybe that's where I'm a little bit weirder, where there's, like, you're rounding out your strategy, and that while that strategy exists, if you have a pair of 7s, you don't know if they have the ace, I'm gonna call to see I want to see more cards. I guess you've seen
I understand.
many.
Like, yeah, well, I mean, I'm on a business trip when I'm there. Okay,
Yeah.
but listen to this. So I leave. I go to the dispensary before it closes. I let the Iron Ape know that we cashed out and what we got. And then I'm like, well, shit, I don't really have anything else to do. So I just go back. But, so I put Iron Apes, leave the money in the car. And I go back for 100. And there's this Russian girl that goes out there. She's like, she's like our age. She's like just super Russian. And then, and she's there all the time. And so I played with her a bunch. But yesterday, some guy at the table goes, looking at her like for a while, and he's like, "Hey, did you used to play poker over at the Bike, which is the bicycle casino out in LA?" And then she was like, yeah, like, it was kind of like he was blowing up her spot, like
Like got a
that
little
she plays
weird.
so much poker that he's like seen her at other poker rooms.
Yeah.
And like because which or maybe that's just me self-projecting, but like I always try to don't like act like I know, that I have all my shit together, like that I'm like thinking about poker as much as I am,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
you know, because like all the time like because these old guys have been going there, probably for years. So like, I mean, they definitely know me there now, but like they just see some kids, sit down in like board shorts, and they're like, like he probably doesn't know shit, and then until like I make a move or whatever, then get some respect. But I prefer it like that.
Oh yeah, I'd rather. That's what I said. Like from, I haven't really played in any like card places. Obviously casinos, but not like small little card setups. But yeah, I mean,
But no, like I mean, like guys will like try to mansplain me like shit that's like very basic about poker. He's like, oh, well, this is what you have to do, and I'm like, oh, okay, thanks. It's
oh
like
yeah.
it's like,
If
who are
I'm
you talking
playing,
to, motherfucker? I'm about to take all your money.
yeah, I just try to make it seem like I'm not paying attention.
Okay, so well, see, I don't want to do that. I just try to, less is
Well,
more
not
sometimes.
well, no, not like over
It's
the
like if
top.
these guys want to think that I'm an idiot, I'm gonna let them think that.
Yeah, I
But I'm
mean,
not. But I'm not gonna like put on like an act or anything.
no, no. Well, I guess we play with different groups because if I'm playing with like my friends or other people and we're playing in a large group, I'm just like my normal self.
Yeah, I guess
So,
I
because
just try to
some of
be.
them have like their glasses on, and they try to be overly serious, and I'm just like that's kind of goofy, like, because I'm really watching everything that you do. You're drawing more attention to yourself by like now you're not saying anything and you're just sitting there and like staring at your hands. It's like, dude, we all work together. Like, chill the fuck out. What are you doing? You trying to rip all your buddies off? Chris
Yeah.
Moneymaker, get the fuck out of here.
There's this like little like 21-year-old like skinny Asian kid who pops in like at midnight every now and then. Like it's like the one night he gets like his parents are away or something, and but he always wears a mask. And then he's like a little shit kid, like, and like he would try to call out your hand, like after he would fold. He's like, oh, ace king's good, ace king's good. And I'm just like, every time I'm just like, God damn. I was like, dude, you are the worst, like, predictor of somebody else's hand I've ever seen. He's like, oh yeah, you want to go heads up? And it's like, dude, like, how did they even let you in? I didn't know you were old enough. Like, and but he's like always wearing the mask.
Like,
And
what
I
is
think,
your mom getting her hair done down the street and you just
dude,
popped in because you got an hour to kill? What are you doing?
he's like, yeah, just acting like it's like literally like like a stereotype of a kid playing like a video game online and like yelling at like the other people.
Yeah.
But I'm like, do you know where the fuck you are? Like, it's like we're at the poker table with like, we're playing for real money, dude. Like this, I know you got your allowance for like 2 weeks, then you get to come here, but you want to play heads up? It's like, what?
Did you want to go head to head? Well,
Yeah,
that's like, but that's like the young, but that's.
no,
But,
there's just this one little kid, like, he'll learn, dude. He'll lose like his ass on some shit, and then he'll.
yeah, but that's
Yeah.
some
But
current day modern warfare. Like, you want to go 1v1, bro? You think you're better than me? You want to go 1v1? You want to go heads
know.
up? You want to go heads up? You want to race to the street stop sign and back right now, dude? Do you want to do that?
Just like, bro, I've been sitting at this table for 5 hours, like, crushing like old timers. Like, I don't need
This
like
old
you
man
sassing me at midnight.
This old man's explained the whole rules and regulations of poker to me 45 minutes before you got here. I know what I'm doing.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
The guy's like, yeah, that's right.
yeah, he
Taught him everything he
told me
knows.
how a flush was better than a straight.
Oh.
So okay, so I got the 273, but we cash out, but we're up 173, right? So we get the 100 back plus the 173.
Yeah.
So then I go back in with 100, and I'm playing against the Russian, and she's going all in over and over again, like 3 hands in a row. And I'm like, all right. And like a lot of times I could be like, I'll use that as a setup if I'm like on a quick like a run.
Yeah.
Where like I hit like a couple big pots and I get another big hand. I'll just like act like I'm just like frivolous or just frivolous with it. Just like I don't give a fuck. But it's like, nah, dude. I'm like over betting, even though it's I want people to call because it's a good hand. So it's like you can play into that. So I'm aware, and like I know that she like plays poker. So so I got 6 7 hearts. Flop comes out 2 hearts, and the other card is a 7. One of them's a queen of hearts, a 7, and then another heart. And she goes all in again. 53 chips. It's like half of my stack. And so I got a flush draw, 2 cards to come for a flush, or I could catch a 7, get trips, or my other card, or the 6, get 2 pair.
Yeah.
I have 14 outs, I counted, 14 fucking outs. And he had 2 chances to get it. And it didn't come, so she got half my stack on that one. And then, like, I don't know, like 20 minutes later, she goes all in, pre-flop again. And I have ace queen, and I only have $50 instead of 100, so I'm kind of short stacked. Ace queen, here's a chance to double up. I call, she had ace king, so I got bounced. So then,
damn.
Yeah, I'm like, damn. I'm like, okay, well, and then I was like, all right, well, I can actually just PayPal Tyson 100 and then give him the rest of his winnings in cash, and then just use the cash that I had from the winnings, and to go back in.
Yeah.
I'm just working with the bankroll, so I go back in, and this Asian lady is sitting next to me, and she's just like, she is having a full conversation with me the entire time, whether I'm listening or not. I can't hear her ever, but she's just sitting next to me, and she's just like, and she's actually a good player. Like, she was like, but she talks so quietly, but like, and she never makes eye contact with me, but she just continues to talk, and there's nobody else around. Like, so it's just so weird. But I'm sitting next to her, and then we both get, I get a straight on a turn, and then we both get a flush on the river, and I had the 10 of diamonds. She had ace of diamonds, so she takes all my money. She's like, I'm so sorry that I did that, and I'm like, fuck. So basically, I've got like the cash and the 100 I can PayPal the Iron Ape, but then I'm out. Like, my bankroll's gone.
Yeah.
So I'm like, well, the cash is like $60, and I'm like, well, if I guess I could use the $60, go back in, and then worst case scenario, if I lose it, I'm sending Tyson $100. It's not the 143 I was gonna send him, but it's all of his money back plus $35 in 12 hours. So you probably wouldn't be too mad about that.
Yeah.
And so I go back in, like 10 minutes in. So this asshole has like $1,500 on the table. You can only buy in a max of 100. So, and I've played with this guy. He's like such a little bozo, like dork. Like, he doesn't know anything. But like, apparently he was like on a good run. He probably just won like one giant hand. But I mean, it's insane. I've never seen anybody with that much money on the 1-2. And so now he thinks he's like the boss of the of the table, because he's got all the chips. Like, he's running shop. And I'm like, wait a second, like, because I know who he is, and then I realize that all these people at the table are like kind of like looking up to him as if he's like some sort of like fucking like poker god, because he has all these chips in front of him. And I'm like, and then I just start clowning him. Like, he starts like, because he like, nobody's calling him. Like, they're all like, oh dude, like how long you been here, man? Like, oh, like, this is crazy. Like, and I'm just so I don't know if you know what a bomb pot is. But there's this like tradition. It's not like always, but it can happen where, because they rotate the dealers out every 40 minutes. So when a new dealer comes, they say bomb pot, and everybody puts in $5, and they deal out the hand, and then they deal the flop, and then you can start betting. So everybody's in the hand, and there's $5 per person in the pot. So we got a new dealer. Somebody's like, bomb pot, and I don't like to do it. Like, I don't think I've ever won a bomb pot, and so I'm like, nah. And then the guy with all the chips, and it's always $5 at the 1-2 table, always,
Yeah.
And he goes, no, we're not doing a bomb pot unless it's $20 each. And everybody's like, oh, and I'm like, dude, who the fuck are you? Like, oh, we can't do a bomb pot unless it's 20. I have 1,000 chips in front of me. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. He's like, and he kind of like, he's like, oh, and he's like, kind of came back down to earth. He's like, oh yeah, I am an idiot. Like, it's like he's riding way too high. So anyways, that motherfucker, I get a flush on the turn, and on the river, and I didn't go all in because he had like a weird twinkle. No, he got a full house on the turn. I got a flush on the river, and I didn't like go all in because he like made a really bad check. He's like, oh, he's like a tell. Like, I'm like, oh, well, that looked like he got like a full house, because there was 2 eights and 2 twos on the
Yeah.
on the board. You know, so if you just had one of those cards, it's a full house.
Yeah.
So I'm worried about that, but but then I've got a flush though, and I only bought in for 60, so I get out of there losing 40, so I've got 20 chips left, and I see a hand for 4, and it's no good, so I got 16 left, and so I'm like trying to pick my spot here, and I go all in king 9 for 10. Oh no! Everybody. Okay, so somebody raises at 6 pre-flop, so the whole table goes in 6, and so now I only have 10 left. I've got king 9. King 9 comes on the flop. I go all in 10. Everybody calls. I win. So that $16 is now $80.
Damn.
And I'm not even kidding. So then, like, what happens next? And then, so it's like, this is like 12:45 in the morning, right? Midnight. 12:45, and like, granted, remember, I was just lost 100, was debating whether or not to put in the 60, was down to 16, now it's to 80, and then 2 hands later, I'm in this big ass hand. I get a flush on the river, and I moved that 80 into $270, and then broke the table, like knocked out 2 people at the table, and the table collapsed, and we ended the whole thing for the night. And I walked out with $270 exactly.
Damn. Nice,
So
man.
I basically paid for my 8th. Like I paid for my 8th and got the money back by going back.
Oh. It's a come up.
No, I know, but it was like almost a disaster because it was like so easy. Like I was out of there by like 8:30, got there at 6:40, and then like I went back, and then I was like, oh man.
Yeah. You're like, shit. That's
Yeah.
how it works, man.
But it was a bounce back. All right, y'all. Here we go. As we do, we start with therapy questions, and I like some of these. I'm really interested in.
That's good. I'm glad you like.
Yeah. Sometimes I get like, I'm like, because it's hard because we do them every week, so it's like.
Yeah.
All right. Therapy question number 1: would you rather be eaten alive by wolves or eat another human alive?
Jesus Christ. Definitely.
Like that was like this list like was really really dark because I was the only one I used off of it. I'm like, God, like why would you want it?
Well,
Go ahead.
definitely eaten by wolves. I feel like that'd be a G way to go.
You would rather that than
Have to eat a person? Yeah, definitely.
There's like a bonus though when you eat the person, you're still alive afterwards.
Yeah, but then like,
You're on a suicide mission to get
yeah,
eaten by wolves.
you'd be no, not
You
a
better be out there. You better be out there in Siberia with Putin. Like
I'd rather not be the guy that survives, like being captured by some wild people in the woods. It's like either you fend for yourselves against the wolves or you gotta eat Bob here. I'd be like, all right, I'll do the wolves. Like I don't want to be the one guy that survives. Like yeah, well I ate Bob, and everything was cool. Nah, I don't want to eat.
Well, I always thought like the move is just eat them after they die.
Well, I mean, but yeah.
Like why do you have?
But
to
you
jump
have alive. So
no, I know that's what I'm saying. This is different.
And
it's a whole different ball.
That's also there's like what that whole idea of like Wendigos and old folklore, and some of that comes from like, oh, if you eat a person you become like a demon or you do all this weird shit. There's then
they're your slave for the rest of
what's that movie?
eternity.
What's that movie called? It's really it's crazy. It's about that.
So I didn't even so not on the list of therapy questions where I was searching to find the therapy questions. The 4th therapy question was one that I came up with separate from that, but I didn't even think about how it's like related to the first one. So I'm gonna skip to that one and we'll just merge these two. So the follow-up question is, and I'm interested to hear what you have to say. So like they like have Beyond Meat, or like lab grown meat, and it's like becoming pretty common. So like they obviously probably can make human flesh like in a lab. Do you think it's ethical to eat human flesh that was grown in a lab?
I would say no.
Why? No humans are hurt in the process.
First of all, like, why would you want to do that? Because that's what you choose to eat. That's some like vampire shit. Some like
Right.
Underworld 5. Like we're gonna grow human meat.
It's insane because like it's like there's the element to it that I've never, it's like one of those things that I never thought I could think of, which is like, you're taking the human out of it. It's just human flesh, and so
Yeah, but it'd be like
now
it'd be
where
like
is it morally? It's just weird, but is it?
I think it's still like either way, you're coming up with a scientific way to circumvent the unethical, like how unethical it is to eat a person. So you're coming up with a shortcut to be able to do
exactly.
it. So you came
That's
up with
You're
yeah, but hold on.
Otherwise.
But eating beyond burger, eating beyond cow, or eating cow meat, we consider ethical, right?
No.
No, I mean we eat.
Are you kidding me? If aliens came down here and saw what we do to cattle, they would think that we're like fucking Hitler.
I mean, I don't know the conditions that we raise them
Not the
in.
conditions, just the systematic slaughtering of sentient beings. And so what you're doing by creating lab-grown meat is
If you want to create
enabling you to do that without hurting an animal.
If anybody who wants to make lab grown, I know. I'm just saying anybody who's like we should make lab grown human meat for consumption. That guy, like red flag, like pull that guy's.
You know who probably does that is Liver King.
He just says steroids.
You don't think he's eating lab-grown human flesh, or telling people
he
that
would? He would. I think he would.
Money. Like,
or he's like
a couple mil on
I could see him like trying to attach lab-grown human meat like to his already and be like, "Look, I added another back. I've got 2 backs now."
No, he's eating on it. It's the best protein.
But he might try to eat it. I think he'd be open to it. Make
Cambodian lab-grown.
Like vlog it. I'm out here on an unknown island where I can't say where I am. We're out in international waters.
I've never actually seen a clip episode of Liver King. I just know who he is, like through the grapevine.
He's this guy. I saw one where he was giving a tour of his house, and he's like, "We put our cell phones in these bags, and we sleep on the floor on this wood board because it's like bad." It was like that's what I was like. I think this guy's full of shit. Like this looks absurd.
Oh yeah, obviously.
And then it came out he was just like doing roids.
Yeah.
Then everyone was like, "Oh, he's just doing steroids," and he's like, "Oh, my bad." I was like, "Yeah, are you kidding me? You're not just eating like deer liver and like bear hearts and looking like that. That's impossible."
Right, but I mean, now we have Ozempic, so it's fine.
Yeah, it's all good.
Dude, how quick? Like, I mean, like, I thought I was being a little bit bold with like, like, hey, like, start making moves on the stock market, like, short fast food companies, short cigarette companies, short alcohol companies. Maybe like a long-term play. It's like, dude. Like, there's new commercials of like, rivals to Ozempic. Like, it's like, oh, if you're having a hard time getting that one, boom, here's Row or whatever. It's like, damn, I can't wait to take it.
Yeah, I just don't know what flavor. Oh, you're on Ozempic. What do you want? I'm on the alcohol free flavor. Oh, black cherry. Okay, nice. All right. Okay.
The alcohol free flavor.
Yeah. One of the craziest things I used to think about those was what is it? If you have restless leg syndrome, the medication, one of the side effects is compulsive gambling. That's crazy. Yeah, I'm dead ass serious.
Yeah, I mean, well, there all you need is Ozempic. And I actually heard, so I know that it like really does affect like your impulse control, like helps it, like so it helps with like addiction, like to cigarettes and alcohol and social media and whatever the fuck. And they don't really know, I don't think, like why, but they just know it does. But I actually heard somebody like saying it was like once they were on Ozempic and like didn't have this constant, it was John Lovett from Positive America. He was saying like his whole relationship with food was like every time he would get like full, he would get like upset with himself, like, and and he was like had this constant like subconscious like chatter with food and relationship, and then he started taking Manjaro, I think, and he was saying like so then like that part of his brain kind of like turned off where he was like always obsessing about food like to some extent, and then once that happened, then he was like able to like kind of like see the whole picture, and he said it completely changed his entire like relationship with food. So like I mean, and that's not even like when it's like tailored made to him. That's like the generic, give it to whoever gives us $1,000.
Yeah.
But like when they get this, like start fine tuning it and shit. Like, god damn, bro.
It's gonna be scary. We're gonna be all
scary. It's
all
gonna
on
help so many people.
Once a month, you can have your beyond
I know, well, I'm pissed off because I
human
just-
flesh meat requirement for the month, and then you'll be back on your Ozempic shots. It's just like,
Well, it's bullshit because like, you know, I've been, you know, I was like, never could gain a single like I was like pound when in high school because we were just playing sports all the time. But like ever since I got out of high school, you know, I've slowly been gaining a little bit of weight. You know, dad bod. You know,
Yeah.
sometimes you know, oh, then super bloated with alcohol and shit. But I'm a little pissed off because like your boy lost 30 pounds this year, but everybody's losing 30. Like 30 pounds ain't shit anymore.
like, I
Lose
lost 30 pounds
like,
last Wednesday.
yeah, exactly. Like, oh yeah, 30 pounds. What?
They're like, oh, that's so cute. You're below.
Uh-uh.
Oh, I love that for you.
Were you purging? Like, no, I don't know if you got
That's so medieval.
Yeah.
I'm on Ozempic 3000.
But did you hear that people are overdosing on it?
On what, Ozempic?
Yeah.
We talked about it before. There's like a big
Oh, that's
I mean, we were ahead of the
like,
Ozempic
were we
pandemic.
talking about the actual overdosing of it?
Not the overdosing, but I didn't know about that, but I do know that people are having like their stomachs like going like stomach paralysis.
Oh yeah. No, I think that's like when shit goes really off the rails.
Yeah, when they're like they can't
The
process
overdosing-
food.
It's like, it's people who are taking like trying to take more than their dosage. So I think this thing probably, you know, is like a mood enhancer a little bit. It's got to be. It's probably like a little speedy, little Adderall-y, a little fen-fenny.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like.
You know.
I remember Fen. Well, because I remember it briefly when I was a kid, and then I just remember like all the time after school before X-Men would come on and be like, "Have you taken Fen? Are you dying?
Yeah,
Call this number." And so it was
for
the Camp
Zoomers
Blue
out
Jane.
there.
Yeah, it was for the camp. It's the Camp Blue Jane equivalent.
Well, for the Zoomers out there, fen was a weight loss drug that was like basically.
Meth.
It wasn't like speed. No, like, it was, yeah, like because they really did have like meth back in the day. Like, well, they would give it to like housewives in the 50s, but then you know as diet pills. But no, that's what's the problem. It was like a derivative of meth. You know, it's like probably like all the shitty parts and none of the fun.
Yeah.
You know, you just feel like irritated and like shit.
And they're like, "How do we make it sound fun? We call it Fen. It's like fun, Fen. They're like, "Oh, that's fun. Let's do it."
Well, I mean, it's like amphetamine. I think.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. And then
right.
they shut that shit down and ran commercials for years about class
Right.
action
I think-
lawsuits.
yeah, whatever.
I'm waiting for the Ozempic ones.
No, dude, it's gonna solve so many more problems than it causes. Like obesity is like completely destroying the country, and like this just gets rid of the #1 health problem in the United States. We're like the fattest country, and we just like solved it. You're welcome. Talk shit again.
All right.
We eat whatever the fuck we want.
And then we in
Yeah.
turn make the rest of the world
You
skinnier.
know what it is? It's like we use all the fossil fuels and shit to like like grow our like superpower, and then we like built all these like fast food restaurants and like convenience food, and then we exported it to like China eats fucking KFC on Christmas, because they just love that. They can't get enough of that finger licking good Colonel shit over there in China, and then now we have Ozempic, so now we're all over it. So now the rest of the world is just like getting on to like McDonald's and KFC, but
Yeah, we're really
good luck
like
with that.
we're putting them behind. And then they gotta come to us. You want that? We're the Ozempic plug. You want that Ozempic dog? You gotta shit sanctions.
Sanctions. Yeah, they're like, no, we have Ozempic, and we pay like a third of the price for it in Portugal. Thanks.
Yeah.
Okay. Therapy question number 2, kind of number 3. If you could have the credit for creating any piece of art, painting, music, movie, etc., which piece of art would you choose?
Piece of art.
So like just how about this, like a intellectual property?
It'd have to be like the Great Pyramids, maybe. It'd have to be something like that. Cause
You want credit for
building
the pyramids
yeah.
6,000 years ago.
Yeah, that'd be tight. Then that would like totally throw the whole timeline on. I would take over the planet, bro.
You take it.
The people would be like,
Well, when does the credit start?
They'd be like, how'd you do it? They're like, I don't know.
Are you like a little King Tut, like where like as soon as you're born, they're like, ah, bro, this guy did the pyramids.
Yeah, basically. And then
You're like the Dalai Lama.
So then I could like just like shit on Elon Musk all the time because he'd be like, "Well, I've built space." I'd be like, "I built the pyramids, and you don't even know how I did it."
But to
son."
be fair, like what did the pyramids even do? Nothing.
Yeah, but they're like a architectural marvel. and how they were built and how they were constructed, and the accuracy in which they're done.
The pyramids are like
The astrological accuracy.
the Egyptians are like, oh, they're like building sandcastles. Elon's out here building real rockets, homie.
Well, let's be real. It depends on how
you got your shit lined up to the constellations. Yeah, so do my satellites.
you gotta remember those things were encapsulated.
I don't know why I'm Elon's hype man.
Those things were encapsulated in marble, actually. So they
what
were
was
the Great Pyramids. They weren't just blocks. Those are the blocks that are left. They were white, encapsulated in marble, and they had literally. No, I'm dead ass serious. So those are the foundational blocks, and it was capped. It was supposed to be capped in white.
What happened to the marble? People just steal that shit.
Yeah, and like
Or
there was
did it go off to the
that's where the
pharaoh?
supposed top of it was made of solid gold, and that was taken and melted supposedly. Yeah, I want some credit for that shit. Or the Sphinx. I want credit for the Sphinx.
Okay, well, what's the difference at this point?
Hey,
I mean, the Sphinx is kind of a bitch. Like
I could charge. Then you could charge people to go look at it. You gotta give me a cut.
Like if you're rolling up to the award show and it's like, yeah, I built the Pyramid of Giza, and this guy's like, I built the Sphinx. Like it's like, okay, Giza's way more impressive, dude. Nice little like animal.
But also, there's signs of what they say on the Sphinx.
Ancient astronauts.
No, well, I mean, this is like current archaeologists, where they talk about how there's signs of water erosion on the Sphinx. Because at one point that wasn't a desert. That was all like jungle shit. There was not a big barren desert. That didn't exist. It wasn't always a desert. That's almost like there was lots of water out there. That's why there's lots of sand and sediment. So at one point there was flowing water out there. And
some paradise over there.
And so some people believe
top of Africa
that the Sphinx might be somewhere between like 8,000 and 10,000 years old. Might be older because whenever there was that amount of rainfall and a water erosion for it to exist on the Sphinx, it would have had to have been constructed way like thousands of years earlier than when we originally thought it was, based off these water erosion marks and things that only take place in that type of sediment rock with.
So the Sphinx is the
heavy levels of rain, and that used to be like a rainforest-esque type area climate. It used to get more rain, so like if it were to take place, it'd have to be 8,000 to 10,000 years ago, not like it was built for
6,000.
6,000. It's like nah, it's like maybe more like 10, 13.
I mean, nobody knows shit.
Exactly, but then so if I built it, I'd know all. It'd be like, it'd be weird to explain, but I'd just get credit for it. That'd be tight. Right off the bat, you'd be a kid.
First of all, dumb, because you're not getting royalties off the pyramid, so you can't even.
Any great piece of art.
Tourists, nobody wants to go to Egypt.
Yeah, you get all the clout, dude. You can walk around that bitch. You're not allowed to walk up the outside.
Hang out. Okay, first of all, Egypt listens to the pod. Shout out. Shout out. But General Assisi, not a fun guy. Don't want to hang out in Egypt.
Yeah, but you can't fuck with me. I own this shit, bro.
I know he can't fuck with you, but
come at me, bro.
How about I'm...
You're so frustrated by my pick. But also, any really great piece of artwork, because I wouldn't want to take somebody else, get credit for someone else's music.
No, man, you're thinking too small here. You're thinking too small, dude. Like, created, like, the cell phone. You're like Steve Jobs. You're just basically stolen valor. You're getting
any of it is stolen
the credit
valor.
of Steve Jobs.
Any of it is stolen valor.
No, I know, but
because that's where any great piece of art, like okay, I want.
I mean, is it though? Because like you could say like I invented, like get credit for the light bulb, and it's like you're stealing it from Edison, but he stole it from somebody else anyway.
Yeah, so see, that's good. See those
Robin Hood shit.
If you steal some shit, steal some shit from some people that stole. Yup.
Steal from some shit. Yeah, that's what you should do. Like steal. You should Elvis. Boom, Elvis. He stole the shit from black people. You stole it right back.
Yeah, just right back. Just bring it back. Bring it back, dog.
No, that is actually...
Ain't nothing but a hound dog, baby.
That is actually a lie.
That is...
because he hung out in Memphis, and, he wasn't just like...
I'm hanging out with my black friends, mama.
Yeah.
They're teaching me how to move my knees.
You know that they started dating when she was 14 and he was like 25.
Yeah, there's like, that what... Priscilla movies.
That's like some like Roy. Well, who's the senator down in Alabama?
Roger Moore or Roy Moore. Roy Moore.
Yeah, that's some Roy Moore shit right there.
Yeah, Roy Moore.
Elvis.
I don't want to get that name wrong. I'd be like accused the wrong person.
Who are the two biggest solo artists in American or just world history. I would argue Michael Jackson, Elvis Presley, right? Like just albums sold. They're like on the level of the Beatles.
Ooh,
Like,
I don't.
that's what I'm saying. Like albums sold, like they're like single acts. Like they are.
The largest.
Okay, just say they're up there, right?
Yeah, they're definitely up there. But there's some people up there that you wouldn't believe. Like the highest all-time selling duo is.
We're not talking duo.
Well, Hall and Oates. His soul is the best.
Yeah.
I love Hall
You
and
guys hate
Oates.
each other.
I know, but they sold more albums as a duo than anybody in the history of existence. That's crazy.
Daryl Hall. Daryl Hall was on a fucking Bill Maher's podcast, and where they just hang out in his like clubhouse and drink and smoke.
Yeah.
And he just every time he could like Bill Maher would say something like about like a song. He's like, "Oh, I wrote that song."
Because he did write. He did write all the songs.
I know, but like he has to go out of it. Nobody's asking who wrote it. Like you guys, like don't call yourself Hall and Oates if you don't want to like just.
Oh, he's an asshole,
Yeah,
but it's
I know.
great. But it's great.
It's annoying. It's like, dude, get over it. But what about? Well, who gives a fuck about Hall and Oates? What the hell?
Classic Joseph sidetrack.
Yeah, right before that.
You were saying great there, Michael Jackson and Elvis.
But Michael Jackson and Elvis, both like completely inappropriate, like disgusting shit with like children.
Well, there's lots of. I mean, what was his name?
Is different. It was like consensual.
Great Balls of Great Balls of Fire guy.
Yeah.
He was
Jerry Lee Lewis.
Jerry Lee Lewis, like married his like niece
that
or
is
cousin.
A little bit different,
was a teenager.
It's just like America just chooses. We're just not going to talk about it. It's like the Catholic Church,
Yeah.
Or the Boy Scouts.
Well, yeah, the Pope, and Michael Jackson are like
any organization that's ever come to power in the history of the world. They just have a problem like diddling little boys. I don't know what it is, man. All right, yo, final therapy question. What liquid would you want to come out of your sink besides water?
All my sinks, so I can choose between water and this.
Yeah.
So like a switch. It'd have to be like clean, obviously. Maybe like lemonade or some shit like that.
Dumb. You already said it, bro.
What?
Gold.
Liquid gold.
Oh fuck yeah.
There'd be some tough pipes.
What do you mean? There'd be gold pipes.
Hey. And then every time I had to change plumbing, I'd just sell the pipes that I had.
Iron sharpens iron, baby. Gold on gold. Oh, speaking of gold, it was my birthday on Friday, a week ago from today. We're recording this on December 22nd, Friday afternoon. I'll put this special for your weekend. So me, the Iron Ape, the Quant, and my brother, we all go to Dave & Buster's.
Okay.
Yeah. Get in on some of that action. We did a Top Gun virtual reality.
Yeah.
It was like 4 of us, and we went on a mission. You know what I'm saying? I was too close for missiles. Had to switch to guns a couple times. I saw a couple bogeys. But anyways, the big news out of the night was we ended up with 1,300 tickets total, and so I went over to the Play Store to see what I can cash these tickets in for. Your boy came up on 3 pairs of sunglasses, but for 400 tickets, your boy got his first gold chain, baby. Ooh, ooh.
Oh, okay.
Dave & Buster's gold chain, 400 tickets. And it was only a matter of time before I got a gold chain.
They're flexing
I
on
think
us.
I might have told the story in the pod where I'd been thinking about it, but I was afraid to tell anybody about it because that's weird. I used to hate on like a gold chain, but I was like, it'd be kind of tight. But I was just thinking it, and all of a sudden I started getting hit with ads on Facebook and Instagram for gold chains. I was like, I didn't even fucking tell anybody. But now your boy's got one, and you know what happens with the gold chain? Like this one only comes off when I get a better one, so it's only upgrades from here.
It's true.
I popped my cherry, got my first gold chain, and now we're on our way up.
Well, I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
Let's get into these articles.
Let's do it.
Well, this came through last week, like after we did the show, and we're a little late this week. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Sorry for having to move it too, man. Work's been a fucking nightmare. It's been really
No
busy.
worries, man.
It's been really busy. This is like my one day off in like 8 or 9, 10 days. I don't even remember.
Well, no days off, homie.
I know you be out there hustling with that gold chain. You can't take days off. Upgrade. But the Colorado top court disqualified Trump from being on the primary ballot. We talked about this before. Obviously, it's going to be appealed. They're going to take this to the Supreme Court. It's probably already lopsided, and he's probably going to get put back on the ballot.
No.
You don't think so?
No. What is this whole dismissal? It's insanity. It's like
No, I'm not
you sound
disagreeing.
like a fucking, like,
I'm just
pundit.
I don't have a lot of faith in things going before the Supreme Court and them holding up what they should do. I'm not disagreeing. It's a group of Republicans sat here and got him removed from the ballot.
Let me break it down. Okay, let me just.
Don't sound like a pundit.
No. Okay, let me just paint a scenario. Well, because I hear a lot of them saying that same thing, just dismissing it and just like it's a foregone conclusion because it's like we're not living in like the like normal times anymore where it's like, well, like because it's a Republican, this blah 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 blah. You know, like anything is on the table nowadays. I don't know if y'all noticed. You know, like Trump was already president. That was so anything can happen.
Yeah.
So we all found out, like we probably already kind of like thought about it, but we all found out this year that the Supreme Court is like completely like bought for by these rich billionaire Republicans, right? They have a lifetime appointment to the Supreme Court, and they're getting taken care of by these sugar daddies. The story comes out about Clarence Thomas back in the year 2000, right? It was like Clinton's last year, so Democrats in office, and he's on the Supreme Court, and he was like bitching about how much he got paid for being on the Supreme Court. He was thinking about leaving to go to like get like a high paid lawyer job like out in Wall Street, make millions and millions of dollars. But all these rich billionaires were like, well, fuck, we don't want him to retire because then they'll put in a liberal judge because Clinton's in office, or like Al Gore, might win and then put in a liberal judge if he leaves. So that's when they started giving him like money and gifts and shit so he could live the lifestyle of a rich person, but still stay on the Supreme Court so that they could hold that seat for a conservative. So that's how this shit happened. Now, I don't know if this is true or not, but let me submit this argument. Like, I think that it's there's a chance that these rich billionaires, like, don't want the money fucked up, and Trump is bad for the money, so they might be like, yeah, like, they might not be putting like pressure on these judges to make sure that Trump stays on the ballot because, like Trump has no fucking power over them. Like, they got a job for life, dude. Like, he already picked them, right? Like, so he's done, like, his usefulness is done to them. Like, it's not like he can fire them or anything. And so if these billionaires are like, want to get rid of Trump and they're like, hey, Clarence, like, but also it also helps that they have the facts on their side. Like, this is a clear-cut case where it says in the Constitution, there's like very, very little amounts of qualifications that you need to be president. It's like you have to be at least 35 years old, you have to be born in the United States, and you can't be a fucking insurrectionist. That's it. Anybody can be president as long as you meet those three fucking things. And like, if Trump doesn't deserve to be called an insurrectionist and held off of the not allowed to run for president because of it, because of the 14th Amendment, like, if that doesn't apply to him, who the fuck does it apply to? Like, what do you have to do?
No, and I don't disagree, but this is what I'm saying is like it's hard for anybody to put any faith into the Supreme Court that we have right now and for them to do the right thing. So in Colorado, a group of Republicans sat there and started a lawsuit for him to not be able to be on the ticket. It also got picked up by the Secretary of State there. So there's been like
the Secretary of State is in charge of voting in every state.
Yeah.
So
but there's
the Secretary of State.
Yeah. I mean, she's been fighting for this for a while. I've actually met her before. Super like whenever she was originally running on her first campaign, I was living up there. Met her at some function that we hosted at one of the restaurants I was running. She's super nice. But that's besides the point. So they're trying that's why him being immune from prosecution for being the insurrect. That's why so Trump's lobbying for to be deemed immune or have immunity from any prosecution or any trouble because he was acting in the duty of his job as president whenever he made these decisions when it came to the election. And if that doesn't go through, which that's supposed to go before the Supreme Court because that's being appealed. He's got so many fucking appeals.
No, so what happened was that was supposed to go to the appeals board, but Jack Smith tried to expedite it and have it go straight to the Supreme Court because it was going to go to the Supreme Court anyways, and he's trying to get this trial going so that they can have it before the election. And it's like, yeah, and the Supreme Court today declined to fast track it. So that news just broke right before we got on here. So they're not going to fast track it. So it's going to go to the appeals court, and then it's going to go to the Supreme Court. And that's a big win for Trump because now it's going to push it back. The court date, start date from like March back to like the summer probably. But that's not. I mean, it's like these two contradicting things for him, where it's like he wants the Supreme Court to move fast and overturn this Colorado Supreme Court decision saying that he's an insurrectionist and can't be on the ballot, but he also doesn't want them to move fast on his immunity case because he wants to push the trial date back. So he's got all this shit. I mean, and it is so fucked up, like that McConnell did this to us, where like he stole 2 fucking Supreme Court seats, and now these guys turn over Roe v. Wade and are in charge of the election and Donald Trump, whether or not he's immune from what are we talking about? And then I just want to bring this up, like when Nikki Haley gets asked about this shit, like, do you think that a president is immune from criminal prosecution? And she's like, that's not up for me to decide, that's up for the courts. And it's like, what, bitch? Like, are you fucking, so you're telling me that if you become president, like, you're just immune from, you could commit crimes? It's like, no, obviously not. Like, it's like I feel like I'm like in a fucking upside down world. It's like, didn't we learn this shit in like 3rd grade? It's like the whole point of the revolution was like so we didn't have a king. Like, it's like everybody's like equal, everybody's accountable to the law.
I'm just wondering,
are we like pretending like, I don't know, because the Supreme Court's never actually weighed in on this. It's like, shut the fuck up.
Because the Colorado Supreme Court ruled he can't be on the ballot. So
and what's so funny though is it was a 4-3 decision of the Supreme Court, and the 3 dissenting judges, also the original court finding before the appeal court, the 3 dissenting judges, all of them, nobody's disputing that he participated in an insurrection. They're just saying they just had a dissent about like the right way to go about it. But everybody, what it was because he hasn't been convicted of an insurrection. So since he hasn't been convicted, they weren't sure if you could take him off of the ballot, which is dumb. What's his name? Jefferson Davis?
Yeah.
Yeah, that motherfucker, the president of the Confederacy, never charged with treason. Or never convicted of treason. They brought charges on him, and then just like never took him to court, did nothing. A couple years went by.
Well, and that's because
But if that motherfucker came back and tried to run for president, you don't think that they would have been like, you can't, the 14th Amendment, Like,
that's why it exists. That's why it exists. The 14th Amendment was to stop people, to keep people at post-Civil War from being able to run for federal office and influencing the direction of the country.
I heard this really cool explanation of it. So, like, there was no amendments, right, to the Constitution up until this point. And the framers of the Constitution, they believed in revolution, obviously, you know what I'm saying? Like, we had, our revolution. So they believed that like government should change and the people should have revolution when, if that's what it takes. But then that leads to the fucking Civil War, and they realize, okay, so there should be revolution through legislation and constitutional amendments, and so that way you can update and change the laws, but without like violence. And so that's when they brought in the amendments, and then they're also like, yeah, well, we don't want these like fucking crackers coming back from the South like to try to get in the government and like overtake it when they participated in, Treason.
Well, and I think they didn't charge a lot of those people because they were like, all right, we just need to leave it alone. Because if we do charge some of them and actually pursue it, no, then there could be the potential for more violence down the road if we persecute these people's leaders. Like, they've already lost their back. Like, it could.
No, I know what you're saying, but I think they did charge a lot of people.
No, they did, but
with Jefferson Davis, it was like, I don't know. Yeah, I think it was kind of, but it can't be like that. Like, well,
so look,
so
if
you think like Biden should pardon Trump, like that would, and then.
Well, it'd be like some Nixon shit, but.
Yeah, but fuck that.
But I mean, if he's off the ballot in Colorado, he can't run. So even if he's on every other ballot, that's what I don't understand. Can he not be on Colorado and be on every other ballot? Because technically, he can't, and like so he will be right now. But if they rule, whatever they decide is either he's going to be on all ballots or not on any ballots at all. Like that. So if the Supreme Court does rule on this, the federal government will decide, and that will be the sweeping law of the land when it comes to him being on a ballot. So they can't really kick the can down the road. Otherwise, he's going to be on the ballot in 49 states, and he's not going.
Well, that's why Colorado put a stay on it. So they gave the Supreme Court 2 weeks to.
2 weeks. That's what. But that's like, and that's where I'd.
No, because I'll tell you why. Because that's when they have to produce the ballots for the fucking primary. So they gave them up until the day before they have to put names on the fucking thing officially, to tell them that they can't, or that they have to put his name on there. And if the Supreme Court doesn't, then they're not going to put it on there because their Supreme Court decided that he's an insurrectionist and is constitutionally disqualified for being president ever again.
No, and so I think it's just interesting because you would think they'd want to rule on that as fast as possible. But if they decide to distance themselves from him, it's almost like they have to openly that whole relationship with this Republican Party, the Supreme Court, him, Harlan Crow, and all these billionaires and all this backwater money being funneled to these judges and their goofy decisions is so fucking toxic that if they decide they're like, no, we're fucking done with Trump, he can't be on any of the ballots, you can't run. And we've decided that we're not gonna let you appeal we're not gonna give you immunity. You're gonna have to go through all these trials. If they do that, the fallout for them is huge. It's like the bottom of it's gonna fall out because he's gonna fucking explode. So that's sort of.
Who gives a shit? He's
I know.
By a private citizen, a felon. Like people like oh, what's gonna happen? It's like, okay. There's this Latin phrase that's posted on the Department of Justice, and I can't pronounce it, but basically, the saying is "let justice happen" or "do justice and then let the heavens fall," and basically it's like, okay, even if convicting Trump is gonna cause people to lose their fucking minds, get to the streets and scare people, and that doesn't matter because it's way worse if we don't do something about this and set a precedent that this won't be things like this won't be punished, because then it gets way worse. So there is no easy choices here, but the only choice is to prosecute him and no fair or no special treatment or any of this bullshit. It's like
no, but I think they're kicking the can.
I told y'all 15 years ago that some dude was gonna come up here and try to steal an election, and then 4 years later we were gonna put him back in office. What the fuck, the United States? That would never happen. It's like we're too badass.
But I'm not saying that what they're doing is right. But I think that if their strategy is to distance themselves from him, they're delaying the inevitable. Because
they had so many chances.
I know, but at this point,
ended his career at the impeachment.
I'm just saying, if they agree that he should be disqualified and shouldn't even be on the ballot, they're going to delay the inevitable as long as possible. Because when they do, they are worried about the fallout that would come with that. It's the same reason why Lindsey Graham.
But it doesn't matter. I'm saying
it shouldn't matter. It shouldn't matter.
No. I get that there will be fallout, right? But this is the place we're in. This is the real world, and this is the place we're in, and. It's just, it is unacceptable to let him off based upon you're scared. This is the United States of America,
No, yeah, I don't think. I think they're. I don't even know if they're I'd say scared.
It's this whole bullshit, we're gonna set this precedent, and then what about if Texas is gonna then take Biden off of it? It's there's one problem with that. Biden didn't participate in an insurrection. It's the shit. We have a legal system. The shit goes to judges. It's not it's just magically decided. So it's not like, oh, well, you did it to Trump, we're gonna do it to Biden. It's like, no, you have to have a legal, like, you have to have a legal reason to do this, you know?
Yeah. All right. Well, next article. This is about our hometown area of Southlake, Texas. This is an article. What's it on? The Messenger News. I saw this come across on Twitter and was like, what the fuck? Because I watched this video. But Southlake Independent School District President, there's a video of him doing it. Cam Bryan decreed and has banned the use of the term winter break. And you could only use, say, Christmas and New Year's break for.
I love that.
Christmas and New Year's break for all employees, students. Like it's like that's like that phrase is banned. The Texas president, the school board of the president of a Texas school board Monday said that his district needed to recognize Christmas as the reason for the upcoming break rather than referring to it as winter break, leading to a debate about what the proper terminology should be. Speaking in a meeting, Cameron Bryan said the district was violating students' rights by not formally referencing Christmas on its calendar and communications with parents. Everything but Christmas break and Christmas parties. Bryan told the meeting, it's Christmas and New Year's break, and the district should refer to it as such. I want every Carroll ISD student, teacher, administrator, and parent to know it's okay to recognize and observe this holiday on our campuses if you choose so. And citing a Texas law which allows students to educate on the history of traditional winter celebrations, including Christmas and Hanukkah.
Okay, dude. So like, real quick, like I'm a big like I love this because like when I was in sales, you know, on the sales floor, we're all like, you know, next to each other talking to our customers, and everybody. I don't know if any there was some like company announcement, but everybody happy holidays, right? And like would like you know catch themselves if they were about to say Merry Christmas and change it to Happy Holidays, and I was like, what? Like that's like you know it's like yourself censoring like you know for no reason. Nobody told you this shit. You know you like probably like saw it like somebody on like Fox News yelling about like the war on Christmas, you know, or like you know I don't know. But I would always say Merry Christmas, and like half of my customers were like Muslim, and like all the like older salespeople were like Happy Holidays, and I'm like no, fuck that. Like you know, so I'm about that vibe, you know, because I just think it's funny. It's like,
But that's dumb to make
who's
to
getting
ban.
mad when you say Merry Christmas? But to your point, this guy is like the fact that he's the president of our high school and he cannot see the fucking irony.
School district.
It's insanity. It's like because they're calling it winter break, we're gonna force you to call it Christmas. How about this? Don't force people to call it winter. Don't force people to call it Christmas. Call it whatever the fuck. Why are you staying up at night thinking about what you're calling the break in the winter solstice?
What's stupid is it's fucking winter. It might be Kwanzaa, Hanukkah, Christmas, or a ton of other religious holidays at this time of year, but you know what fucking season it is? Winter. So why don't we just call it winter break?
Hey, guess what? Winter's coming.
So stupid. Oh, McAfee. Oh, it's telling me, hey, be careful with this website. It's fine.
It's so. What bothers me is like this Orwellian shit where all these people who you know they're like trying to support free speech and like you know it's like it's down is up, you know, and black is white. It's like
Elon Musk, I'm a fighter for free speech, but if you say colonizer on my platform, I'm gonna ban you. It's like,
yeah,
what? Colonizer? Get the fuck out of here.
If you make a joke about me, I'm gonna ban. You know, it's like, no, free speech until it bothers me, and then it's you know it's then regulated. Like that's always what it is. It's like the test for free speech is when the person that you don't like says the thing that you hate.
Yeah.
How do you tolerate that? That's the test. It's not like, you know, your homies, you know, and then like, you know, like we all get along, we all like.
No, I've seen that. I mean, I've seen that happen in real time. Like years ago, you know, I've had a lot of people work with me or for me, and I've seen, you know, someone get someone in trouble because they're like, hey, fuck this dude. This dude's saying all this shit and it's pissing me off. And we go and we squash that shit. And we're like, hey man, that shit offends him. Da 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 da. Don't do that shit. Fast forward 3 months later, that first person who's offended, I hear they say the most offensive shit to that same person, and that other person blows up, and they're like, "Hey, dude, what the fuck? Like, if we're not gonna do that, we can't do that." It's funny. There's no like middle ground. So it's like winter break is such a middle ground. So to force people to call it Christmas break is stupid.
Why are you forcing people to do anything?
And to decree it,
I do like. I kind of want to steal that. Like from now on, I don't do anything.
Yeah, you rolled out.
I decree shit.
You unrolled a fucking scroll of papyrus and stood up in front of everyone and sounded the horns. Get the fuck out of here. But that's like the area. Those are the small little ticky-tacky culture war things that people have where they think they're actually making an impact and making the world a better place, but in reality they're just alienating themselves from everybody else. They're excluding themselves more by making you say Christmas break than you are being more open and inclusive to people.
Exactly.
But so
doing the exact opposite. It's like when we, on the left side, when I think this is a myth. I don't know if it's a myth, but like I heard about it. And I think it's not a myth. I'm sure it's true, but this is like the extreme side. Like liberal college, they had, I think it was Berkeley, had like a black graduation and a white graduation. Because like they were like, oh, black people like should be able to like celebrate in their culture. They think they're being like really liberal. It's like, y'all, did nobody just for 1 second just stop back and be like, yo, we just went back to segregation.
We should just have.
We went back to Jim Crow.
We should just have like a one big graduation. It's cheaper.
Yeah, you guys just you guys are the fucking liberals. Like love everyone. You guys just separated.
Well, yeah, overthinking it. People overthink, and that's why I said there's extremes on both sides, and it's absurd.
Nobody's like
self-aware. to decree that you're banning the use.
I mean, if you are gonna do this, like make everybody say Christmas, you have to decree it.
Yeah, you have to. Otherwise, no one's gonna. It's not as impactful. But
and actually, like on Christcoin, instead of staking it, we call it decreeing.
Yeah, and that's on on Twitter. They're just like everyone's like happy holidays, happy holidays. Yeah, I say happy holidays because I come in contact with so many other people, and I speak like a very good generic like.
No, me too, but like I just thought about it.
Hospitality. So it's like
who is actually going? This is a
but I've had people.
Crisis.
I've had people get pissed at me for saying
Merry Christmas.
No, for saying happy holidays.
Oh yeah.
Being like,
it's Merry Christmas.
No, you mean Merry Christmas? I'm like, okay, Merry Christmas, dude. Like, whatever, bro. I don't know.
It's the other way around.
It's like, Christmas people are hostile as fuck, dude.
No. Perfect example. Happy holidays is exactly like Latinx. No Latinos were complaining about being called Latinos, but some fucking white dude or like in Princeton was like, you know what, Latinos is offensive. We should be calling them Latinx. There's no way that a Latino came up with that.
No, that's dumb.
And Happy Holidays, same thing. It's like, you know what, Merry Christmas, might be offensive to people who aren't Christian. And it's like, I don't think so. Bill Maher, famously anti-Christian, loves Christmas.
Well, but most
Christmas
people
transcends Christianity.
But most people say like Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. So it used to just be one phrase.
I know, but the Happy Holidays came to be like a euphemism, so you're not offending. It's
that sounds
a way
like
to be like more open and tolerant of other religions. But it's just like nobody asked for that. Nobody cares. There's like but because of that happening, then you got people yelling at you for saying Happy Holidays. It's Merry Christmas. And then it's
you can't say that in this town. There's sundown towns for the phrase Happy Holidays.
You never had Happy Holidays, and you just continue to say Merry Christmas.
Did I just hear you say?
Did I just hear you? I'm not a Christian.
Did I just hear you say Happy Holidays, buddy? Listen here, you got till 6 p.m. to get you and all your Happy Holidays kind out of here. It's Christmas around here, buddy. It's like everybody. It's stupid. Like I said, stupid.
But it's never the other way around, right? So Happy Holidays was pointless from the beginning.
Yeah, I mean,
nobody was getting mad at you saying Merry Christmas to them. Nobody.
No, I mean, just say
we didn't need Happy Holidays.
Yeah, say whatever the fuck you want.
Fuck.
If you're me, you're like a Grinch. So I'm just like whatever. I'm like I love winter break. It has nothing to do with anything. That sounds fantastic. I
love Winter House on Bravo. Check it out.
I'm gonna skip the next article. Joe Biden's just. Do you think Joe Biden's gonna try to push to legalize weed to win the next election?
I've been saying this.
Because he just pardoned a bunch of people.
It's over. You put weed on the ballot, It's done. There's no way that Trump can make that up. That's like millions of people that would have never voted. It's like how like Democrats are winning all these elections, you know, because they're putting abortion on the ballot. Put abortion and weed on the ballot. Done. Trump, dude, I get more votes than Trump.
That would be kind of poetic justice, something they've held back for years, and put people in the prison systems. Joe Biden's going around pardoning people, letting them out for federal weed crimes or weed crimes in Washington, in the D.C. area, all sorts of shit, because he just did another batch of people.
He also fired people from the White House because they'd smoked weed previously in their life.
Well, but that's fine. It's like, you know, man.
Is that?
Yeah, that's, I mean, previously in their life?
I think it wasn't like, I don't know if it wasn't like he did it, but I think it was like a antiquated like law that was still in the books, like for the White House, like safety protocol.
Well, yeah,
like,
I mean,
you know, it's like if you're gonna be.
I could see that though. I could see that though.
Ever.
Yeah, you can't. You don't want like there to be a potential plug for your son living in the house. So, and somehow they still got coke in the White House. So who knows?
Well, dude, when you have,
I'm just saying,
Hunter Biden and Donald Trump Jr., who have access to the White House, how's there not coke in every one of the cubbies?
Yeah, like every.
I can't find my coke, and it's just like in every cubby.
Oh man. Donnie Jr. left like at least 2 8-balls in this vase over here, man. I can't believe they didn't find it.
No, I didn't.
And that's why he's freaking out. He's like, he stole my shit. He stole my shit. He stole my shit. Last article. This is from the AP. Judge orders release of over 150 names of people mentioned in the Jeffrey Epstein lawsuit documents. A federal judge has ordered the public disclosure of the identities of more than 150 mentioned in the mountain of court documents related to the financier, Mr. Epstein. Those names who are to be disclosed include some of the abuse victims, litigation witnesses, Epstein employees, even some with only a passing connection to the scandal.
Okay, so what? Like, I just have a question, and I was like, when this news came out, I was watching the news, and I just kept waiting. They kept bringing it back up, but they'd never like explain it to me. So, like the irony, you know, him and his like apes on Reddit, you know, they're always like, where's the Epstein like list or whatever, you know? Is that this thing? Like,
yeah, I mean, it's
like,
and I think it's
like Bill Clinton gonna be on this thing.
Well,
like,
Bill Clinton's already on, so like that's where they say it's like people.
Is that what we're talking about?
Like the flight
like
logs,
associates and victims.
Well, there's like they say like there's flight logs, so I think there's gonna be.
Is that what this is?
Yeah, it'd be. That's what they said. It'd be like litigation witnesses, so people who were witnesses in some of these court cases. So some of them who have their identities not known to the public, who've sat there and testified under oath either for or against him, their names are going to be public. All the abuse victims whose names were not disclosed.
At the time.
Yeah, let's say we're underage at the time. Those are going to be made public. Then that's what
no,
they're
those aren't going to be made public.
Oh no, sorry, yeah, they're going to be excluded. So yeah, those are not going to be public. The witnesses,
which
the
I
victims.
don't know why any victims' names are going to be public. Like, why do we?
But I think that people.
What's the interest in that?
I think people get lost in like the fog of this whole scandal. Obviously, it's super fucked up. There's tons of fucked up shit going on. This dude was like a billionaire financier and like pseudo bullshit, creepy philanthropist type guy with access to all of the money that Victoria's Secret or anything that guy was owning had control of. So when you think about it, like he hosted people, he hosted shit all the time. I'm sure there's things that he had that went on at his island that had nothing to do with any of the weird shit that he was doing. He's just a rich billionaire who had an island and hosted a party. So any of those people who've done anything, whether loosely connected or directly connected to that and any of his dealings, is going to come out. So that's why you're going to see some random weird people on there that you're like, what? Why was that person there? Maybe they held some fucking fundraiser there and they had to go to it.
All it is a list of names, or is it like an entire document explaining like the entire?
No, I think
thing
it's just. I think it's just names.
Unredacting the names.
I think it's just names.
With no context.
That's what it sounds like.
But I don't know, Bill. You're right next here to Jared from Subway. Like,
instances, individuals had given media interviews named previously emerged in the public, including the year, and concluded that some portions of the record should remain confidential, including the identities of people who were children or were abused. Yep. 3 criminal cases have been brought federal authorities. See, it does it, and they just talk about her being in there. But yeah, the people, it just says, identities of more than 150 people mentioned in a mountain of court documents related to it. Most of the names were already public. and that many had not objected to the release.
Yeah, and then that's the other part that got him. It's like these people don't even care. So is this like why was everybody kind of freaking out like, oh, they're hiding the list?
Because Donald Trump, Donald Trump will be on. Donald Trump, Donnie Jr., Eric Trump, Laura Trump, all the whole Trump, every wife will ever dead.
Not Brittany, not Tiffany. I mean, shout out.
But
come home to your boy.
They're all going to be made public. So there's going to be a lot of people, and then some. I'm sure that some of them are going to try to release a statement to distance themselves. Most of them aren't even going to acknowledge that it was released, because I'm sure that there's
be like the Panama Papers where it just comes and goes.
No, I think this is
actually. I think this has because this is like taking on a whole like.
I think it could long term lead to more information coming out about this, but I also think that it's also going to lead to more people jumping to conclusions and accusing people of stuff that they hadn't done. Because, like, I'm just saying, like, I don't think that every 150 person on this list was doing something nefarious with him the entire time. Like I said, he's in the mix. He is a major player when it comes to fashion, and being involved in that, he is one of the head financiers and money men in the fashion industry for decades. When not in designing clothes, but in like controlling money that gets moved the fuck around. So he's gonna be in the room with people that he probably doesn't have the same social clout or the same like public figure, like public following as other people do. But he's one of those rich dudes that's in a suit in the back. And I think, you see what I'm saying? Like, oh, they hosted a Victoria's Secret party at his fucking island. I wonder if that happened, and if they did, I bet you there was tons of people that would go to that who had no idea who the fuck that guy was.
But I mean, I also can see like there's like how you got people doing wild shit at your island, and then all of a sudden now you're blackmailing them. So that's why
definitely
powerful places. It's like he
uses position to like create leverage. I mean, total like CIA plant psyop, like doing some weird nefarious shit.
You go to the island, and then it's like now he's got
so then that's where it's like, what's the frequency that these people were going there, and for what, and what were the reasons?
And
like,
is this list gonna have any of that?
I'm not sure. We'll see, but it's supposed to come out next year.
Oh, see, that sounds far away. January 2nd, the Tuesday.
Not next Tuesday, but the Tuesday after. Because the 20th, so that's
the Tuesday after Christmas,
and that's so I think that'll ignite a firestorm.
But not the Tuesday. So Christmas is Monday. It's a week from that. On that Tuesday, and she's just giving 2 weeks for anybody who's on the list to object to their name coming out, and so she'll hear the argument and then make a decision. But she was like, most people don't even care. It's like, well, if they don't care, then this doesn't sound like the juicy list that everybody thought it was. But I guess we'll find out.
I think whether it is or not, I think some people are going to speculate, and that's all I'm saying is whatever. We'll see.
I feel like it would have been leaked by now.
Well, I mean, it comes out on a Tuesday, so we'll have a podcast that day.
That's true.
And so that'll be episode 120. The list.
You know what's actually happening that day as well?
What?
The quarterly brand new truck drawing over at the Players Poker Room. If you have logged 100 hours of poker time in that 3 months, you get a raffle ticket for a free car.
Oh, cool!
Free truck.
Fuck yeah! Hell yeah!
Yeah, dude, I'm gonna start a fucking bidding war right there on the floor when I win it. Sell it for more than it's worth in cash.
Right there.
Just get people excited. Like, I don't even know why I'm saying 45.
I don't even know why. I mean, that's just too good of a deal.
Like, I don't even got a driver's license. 50.
Yeah. So I mean, 150 names of people mentioned in documents, and that's where it's just the context of it. That phrase, judge orders release of over 150 names of people mentioned in the documents, not the release of 150 documents or the release of the documents that includes their names, just a release of 150 names of people mentioned. So that's where it's like it sounds vague. It seems like this is like.
What it sounds to me is like that we've already seen these documents. The names were redacted. That's what. But again, I'm just speculating. We'll just find out. Like, there's enough fucking conspiracy and like smoke and lies around Epstein. We don't need to like.
No, I know, but I'm just saying. I think this is just gonna further ignite and fuel it.
It just seemed like a little underwhelming for how worked up people get about this list.
If there's no context to it, it's just gonna further fan the flames of this conspiracy stuff that goes around, and it could potentially push us farther from the truth.
I'm gonna hit up my sports book.
Oh, who's on it? Like who?
Yeah,
Or,
see about
or
the Epstein.
yeah.
Or do like an over under on Democrats versus Republicans. Who's gonna have more?
Ooh, that'd be good.
We already know the answer to that. Gates bought up all the time on the Epstein on Lolita. What do they call it? Lolita Express.
Find out he's like Matt Gaetz is like trying to set up a timeshare on one of the like a part of the island. Like I think we should put timeshares here, Jeff. Wouldn't you just love having me around all the time? He's like no.
He's like, I'm a fucking sociopath.
He's like, I'm a monster, and I want to kill you.
Yeah.
Well, all right, man. That's 118. I got dinner with the 2.0 man.
Oh, shut up.
Yeah, he's in town.
Like
Saw his big goofy ass yesterday. He's in town.
He's a big guy.
2.0, yeah, 2.0 is probably like 6'2", 6'1",
I'd take him.
6'2". Remember he played college linebacker for like 3 years.
For like, what school?
South Dakota School of Mines and Technology, baby.
The fact that he even had a football team is funny.
Hey man, dude, that kid's a badass. Yeah, think about it.
I'm not shitting on him.
No, I know, but it's like, and just think now he's just like some like vibed out like 24-year-old defense contractor.
He's like in a Discord room, like giving away like secrets probably with his homies.
Nah, he better not. He knows he needs to drop those secrets to me.
Gen Zers, dude.
To me first, I was like, dude, you gotta let me know if they're ever like, yeah, drop a line, give me a heads up. You gotta.
Not me, dude. Not me.
If anything's in
shit, I don't even. Nope. Don't want to know. Don't want to be involved.
It's like aliens, something like that. Just send me
Send
me like the word. If aliens are real, just one day, just text me like.
I just want plausible deniability, dude.
Text me like Krispy Kreme or something, and I know aliens are real.
When Trump's SS comes to my door, you know.
So you're saying he will be on the Colorado ballot, or won't? He will be on the Colorado ballot.
No.
Then. Well, the Trump SS.
But I mean, no. Also, all our elections are run by the states, like on purpose. So
yeah,
for the fucking, and this is the primary ballot, so it's specifically the state.
Yeah.
So the fact that the Supreme Court's even weighing in on the primary ballot of Colorado is actually kind of stupid, but they're gonna have to figure it out.
Word.
Well, y'all, meditate, bitches. This is a rare Friday evening, Friday night pod for us. Usually, it's Talk Shit Tuesdays, but appreciate y'all.
Yeah, and everybody have a good, safe holidays. Be good. 118 seasons of shit talking done. No, we really appreciate y'all just sticking with us. We're getting up there in episodes. It's wild. But no, I'm just really thankful for you, the show. This has been so much fun. We've been doing this for 2 years now, something like that. So
maybe next episode we could tell the Christmas Eve story of 2 years ago with the young lady out in Santa Monica.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, we'll do that.
Because I was on Christmas Eve. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll tell that. We'll do that episode. That'll be fucked up. All right, yeah. Well, we love you guys.
I think 2 years from now, I'm like, okay, I've processed it where I can talk about it.
You're off the list.
Well, no, it's the PTSD.
Yeah. Crazy. No, well, we love you guys. Be good. Be safe. Love your families. Have yourselves a wonderful, wonderful holidays. And as always, go fuck yourselves.
La 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 la. Fuck yourself.
Recording stopped.